Hi, this is Andy from GPS Training. In this short video we're going to show you a feature that you can use on the Garmin Montana 700-750 series for creating snap-to-path hiking trails directly on the unit when you're in a national park in Great Britain. This is based on using the Ordnance Survey maps that we can supply with the units, which is either the TOPO Great Britain V2 Pro 1:50 map card. So this is all of the Land Ranger maps for Great Britain at 1:50 scale. The Pro version tells us it's the one that Ordnance Survey have given us the snap to trail feature in the national parks. Or we also supply the units with the more detailed 1:25k mapping that has all of the Explorer maps for Great Britain. When you use this map card in the unit, Ordnance Survey have added for hikers and walkers the snap to trail feature. So only when you're in a national park, and what you need to make sure you do on your unit, you set up the routing profile not as direct routing but as hiking. Now normally you would want to be in the national park to actually create the route directly on the unit. But what you can do, you can say use the map and move the map to somewhere in the national park to start your route from. It might be a route you're doing in a couple of days time or the next morning, and even though you're not in the national park at the moment, you want to use this feature where it snaps to the paths. Normally when you download GPX files and routes from the internet, they've been done in a method called direct routing, so you would leave your unit set as routing and direct, so it doesn't try and pull you off the route that you've downloaded for the internet. So this function is really for you creating a route directly on the unit, a bit like we'd use a car sat nav where it snaps onto the roads. So what I've already done on my unit, because we're not in a national park at the minute where we are in Rothbury in Northumberland, I've actually got a grid reference out of a guidebook for where a walk starts from. So it's this grid reference here, and what I've done in my unit, I've used the function where you can mark a waypoint, which when you swipe down from the top of the screen it's this little black flag symbol, and then I've changed that grid reference to the one that I've got out of the guidebook. So what I can actually do now, I'll just go onto my unit, onto the home screen. I've got route planner. I'm going to select create route, which is right at the top of the screen. I'll just let the camera focus in. Create route at the top, and it says add point. Now it's saying, do I want to use the map? So I could actually just say use map and mark where I want to start the walk from, but I do need to move the map to somewhere in a national park. But what we find works better if you're not in the national park at the moment, once you've marked that waypoint of a grid reference that your walk starts from, what I can actually do is say add point, select waypoint instead. This is the waypoint I marked earlier. I've actually given it a name as DS for Drakestone and then an abbreviation for car park, and it's shown me where that point is. So I can simply say add. I'll just review where I've added it, so I'll just zoom out on the map. So I've added this little flag here. You would normally have a guidebook or a map or something in front of you where you're now going to try and mark the same path on your GPS device. I've done this walk before, so I know where it is. So then I'm going to select add point for my second point, but this time I'm going to say use map. Then what I can actually do is move the map underneath the little drawn pin, get the drawn pin onto the footpath where I want to mark. Now what I find sometimes when you do this, what you should see is a little pink line appear from that first point to where you're marking it, and I find sometimes there's a little bit of a delay with that appearance. So just a little trick I found, sometimes you've got to sort of move it around, get it on the path. So I know the green dashes is the symbol for a path on the Ordnance Survey 1:25 map. On your 1:25 map, if I just zoom out, you'll see the 1:25 on here. It would actually be the pink dashes. When you've got the 1:25 map like this one, you can zoom in a lot closer. It's just on this map it actually changes to the 1:25 as you zoom in. You can see now it's caught up. You just sometimes got to zoom in and out and give it a chance to catch up when you mark your first point. I've now got the pink line marked and it's shown my point 2, so I'm going to say add. I find once you've got it working with that first point, you can then move it along the path and you'll actually see the pink line starting to draw. Sometimes you just got to give it a chance to catch up. You can't mark more than 50 points when you do a route this way, but it counts up as you mark them. So you can see there, I can mark point 3 there and say add, and I can simply move it again to my next point. Now if it tries to go on a different path, sometimes it's because Ordnance Survey haven't marked the path you want to go on as routable, or they've got the path might have changed in the background of the map. So occasionally you'll find it'll do something like I've got now, where I can see that actually is a footpath under here, and it's the one that's obviously been classed by Ordnance Survey as the one they want you to go on. So you've got to bear in mind sometimes it might not be where you want to go. If that's the case, you might have to revert back to direct routing, where you plan a route and literally just draw a straight line to a straight line. But I'm happy with that. It's only a very slight diversion, so I'm going to say add there, and then move it back along onto the corner of the path here and say add. And if I want, while I'm doing the route, I can actually zoom out a bit, and I'm moving it right down this footpath through the woods here. Just move it to the corner there, add. I'm not going to do the full route here, but it's just to give you an idea. I can mark it right the way down on the road here and say add again, just giving it a chance to catch up. Now if I was doing a circular route, I know this one's normally a bit longer the way I do this walk, but what I say is don't join it at the start and the end, always leave a little gap. It makes it easier when you start for the GPS to calculate which direction you're going, and that you haven't got to the end already if you join the bits together. So I'm going to click add there now, and now if I hit the back button I can select review, and it now shows me the distance at the bottom, 3.57 kilometers, and it shows me the route. If I hit the back button now and I touch on done, you must touch on done at the bottom to save it. It gives you the option of what you want to call the route. So I'm just going to hit the back arrow there and call it Drakestone by typing in here Drakestone. If you make a mistake, you do have a delete just above the green tick. I've misspelled it there, but I'm just going to leave it as it is for the minute. Hit the little tick, and that's the Drakestone one now. I can touch on it to have a look at it again. When I touch on it this time, I've got some icons along the top. I've got the map one, and I've actually got the elevation plot as well. If I was now at the start of this walk, I could simply on my unit use the magnifying glass, search for routes, Drakestone, and then if I was at the start of this walk now, I could just touch on go at the bottom of the screen, and then I'd get the pink line on the screen to navigate with, and I'd actually get turn by turn navigational arrows as we get to the turns as well. This was just a short video to give you an idea of the process. If you purchase a unit from GPS Training, you do get free for a year an online training course where we've got loads and loads of videos on using the different GPS devices, including the Montana 700. I have got a video that covers what I've just done here, but it goes into a bit more detail on the settings, and we show you creating the waypoint in a lot more detail than what I've done here. This just gives you an idea of the features that you can use the unit for when you are in a national park. If you haven't purchased a unit from us, you can go to our gpstraining.co.uk website, and underneath the support options you can purchase our online training course, or online training course and support again, where we have all the videos that go into this in more detail, as well as the various support options we offer. But remember, if you bought a unit from us, you do get our online course for free, where you'll get the more detailed videos. But I hope this has still been a useful video, just to give you an idea of one of the functions you can use on your Montana 700-750 unit with the TOPO Great Britain Pro Ordnance Survey map cards. And thanks for watching.